Good morning, students. Magandang buhay, mabuting tao. Today, we will learn rational algebraic expressions. For this lesson, we will have the following competencies. First, illustrates rational algebraic expressions. And second, simplifies rational algebraic expressions. Under this, we will have the following learning objectives. At the end of the discussion, the learners will be able to define and illustrate rational algebraic expressions, evaluate rational algebraic expressions, find the restricted values of irrational algebraic expressions, and simplify rational algebraic expressions. But before we proceed to our discussion, let's have a review first. Okay, let us now recall the laws of exponents. For x is not equal to 0, first rule is the product rule, wherein it says that if we have x raised to m times x raised to n, that is equal to x raised to m plus n. That means if you are multiplying variables that are the same, all you have to do is add up the two exponents. Second is the quotient rule. We have x raised to m over x raised to n equals x raised to m minus n. So for division, all you have to do is get the difference of the exponents. Third is the power of powers. So we have x raised to m raised to n. So if that is the case, we have to multiply the two exponents. So we have now x raised to mn. Fourth is the zero exponent. For the zero exponent, anything that is raised to 0 is always equal to 1. And lastly, negative exponent. If your exponent is negative, you have to get the reciprocal of the term and then change the exponent of that term to positive. So these laws of exponents are very important when we are simplifying rational algebraic expressions. That's why we have to recall the different laws of exponents. Another review is for the factoring polynomials. So previously, we have discussed the different factoring techniques. Okay, so let's have a brief recall. So here we have the different factoring techniques. First, we have the common monomial factor. So when you say common monomial factor, our given polynomial has common factor. So if that is the case, we have to factor out first the CMF. So for example, here, we have ax squared plus bx. So obviously, their common factor is x. So we have to factor out x and then get the second factor. How are you going to do that? By dividing the whole expression, by dividing the polynomial by the CMF. So we now have ax squared divided by x, that is ax. And then we have bx divided by x, that is b. So that is how you factor common monomial factor. Okay. Second, we have factoring difference of two squares. So in this technique, the given are always binomial. Okay, the given are always binomials. And then the operation connecting the two terms is subtraction. Okay, and the two terms are both perfect squares. So if we have this one, x squared minus y squared, so this is a d2s, difference of two squares. So the factors of this are quantity x plus y, quantity x minus y. How did we get this? Simply, get the square root of the first term, x squared, that is x, and then square root of the last term, y squared, that is y. Okay, and then just copy the square roots, x, y. So one is sum, the other is difference. Okay. Third is the sum and difference of two cubes. So here, our given is also a binomial, wherein both terms are perfect cubes. It could be a sum of cubes or a difference of cubes. Okay, so to get the factors of this, first, you get the cube root of the first term. X cubed is x. Cube root of the second term, y cubed, that is y. Okay, and then if it is a sum of cubes, you write plus sign. If it is difference of cubes, minus. Okay, so that is our first factor. It is a binomial. Now, to get the second factor, which is a trinomial, we have 3 steps. First, you get the square of the first term. So we have x squared. And then multiply the two terms, x times y, that is y. And then get the opposite sign. So if we have difference of cubes, ilalagay natin ay plus. Kung yan ay sum of cubes, we will write minus. Okay? And then lastly, get the square of the last term. That is y squared. Okay? Number 4, we have the perfect square trinomials, PST. So this is also a simple factoring technique. Okay? So first, you have to identify if the given trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. So how are you going to do that? Your first and last terms must be perfect squares. Okay, they should be perfect squares. And then the middle term is twice the product of the square roots of the first and last terms. So we have this trinomial now. Okay, so to get the factors of this, you have to get the square root of the first term. Square root of x squared is x, and then square root of the last term, y squared, that is y. If the middle term is positive, then write plus sign. If the middle term is negative, then minus sign. And then just write square. Okay, that means you have two binomials that are exactly the same. Okay, so we have x plus y, or it could be quantity x minus y, quantity x minus y. Okay, let's now have the next one, general trinomials, wherein our a is -1. So we have this given trinomial, x squared plus bx plus c. So if the given is a general trinomial, the factors would be quantity x plus m, quantity x minus n. What are m and n? These are two numbers wherein when you multiply them, you will get the last term of the given. That is our constant. Okay, so first you get the factors of c. So that is m and n, wherein when you add them up, it will be equal to the middle term, b. Okay, so again, get the factors of c such that their sum is equal to b. Okay, the same thing if your a is not equal to 0. We have the same process. The only difference is the first step. You have to get first the product of a and c. So you multiply a and c and then get the factors. wherein the factors of A and C should be equal to B when you add them up. Okay, and then just follow the steps in factoring general trinomials if your A is equal to 1. Okay, clear? Okay, let's proceed. What comes to your mind when you hear the word rational? Anong pumapasok sa isip nyo pag narinig nyo yung salitang rational? Ay, napaka-rational mo, sabi niya. Okay? Is it connected with the idea of reasoning or sanity? Siguro, no? Pero, this definition is not applicable in mathematics. Okay? Iba yung definition ng rational na pagiging nasa tamang pag-iisip. Okay? Iba siya sa definition sa mathematics. Okay? So, let's have now the next slide. In mathematics, the word rational derives its meaning from the word ratio. Okay, so as you know, a ratio can be expressed in fraction form. So during your elementary mathematics, no, or lower math, you already discussed fraction. Diba? For example, 1/2. 1/2 is a fraction. 1 is the numerator and 2 is the denominator. So this is the same with higher mathematics in algebra. Okay, a very simple way of expressing a rational expression in mathematics is to think of it as a fraction whose numerator and denominator are polynomials. Okay, for example, we have 7 over x. 7 over x is a rational expression. Its numerator is 7 and its denominator is x. Okay, another example is negative 3x over x plus 1. So our numerator is negative 3x and our denominator is x plus 1. It is a binomial. Okay. Third, we have 2x plus 1 all over 4. So in our third expression, our numerator is 2x plus 1 and our denominator is 4. It has no variable. Okay? And lastly, we have x squared over x minus 5. So this is also a rational expression. Okay? So observe the examples that we have, okay, before we define a rational algebraic expression. Okay, let's proceed. So what is rational algebraic expression? So let us now define rational algebraic expressions. A rational algebraic expression is an expression that can be written in the form P over Q, where P and Q are polynomials, and Q is not equal to 0. Okay, so we have the form P over Q. Ang P ay ang tinatawag nating numerator at ang Q ay ang denominator. Okay, at pareho silang mga polynomials. Ibig sabihin, pwede silang monomial, one term only, pwedeng binomial, pwedeng trinomial, or mas marami pa. Okay? But, Q is not equal to 0. Bakit kaya hindi dapat equal sa 0 yung Q? Anong dahilan? Because it will make our expression undefined. Okay? So again, if your denominator is 0, the expression is undefined. I hope I'm clear with that. Okay? Okay, let's proceed. Let's have examples. Identify which expression is a rational algebraic expression. Okay? So, sasabihin natin kung yung bang given na expression ay rational expression. So, your answer will be yes or no. Okay? Are you ready? Okay, let's do it. Number 1. X plus 1 all over x minus 5. Is it a rational expression or not? Okay, very good. The answer is yes. Number 1 is rational expression. Our numerator is a polynomial and our denominator is also a polynomial. Okay? Let's now have number 2. 9x over x minus x. Yes or no? Okay, the answer is no. Why? What's the explanation? Why is it not a rational algebraic expression? Take a look at the denominator. The denominator is x minus x. So if we're going to perform the operation, anong mangyayari? It will become x minus x is equal to 0. So, our denominator is 0. A while ago, the definition of rational expression, our denominator should not be equal to 0. It will become undefined. Okay? So, it's not a rational algebraic expression. Okay. Number 3. 3x squared minus 1 all over square root of x. Rational or not? Okay, the answer is no. It's not a rational algebraic expression. What's the explanation? Our denominator has radical. It has a radical term. Okay? So, kapag ka ganun, it is not a rational expression. Because if we will simplify square root of x, the exponent of that will be 1/2. X raised to 1/2. So it is a fraction. Our exponent is fraction. So it's not considered rational expression because of the denominator. Okay? So next. Number 4. Square root of x squared plus 8 all over x plus 1. Is it a rational expression? Yes or no? Okay, the answer is yes. Bakit? Kanina meron tayong radical. Hindi siya rational expression. Bakit ito? Siya ay yes. Okay? Kasi when you get the square root of x squared, that is x. So we have now for the numerator x plus 8. Okay? So it is a polynomial. And then denominator is also a polynomial. Okay, clear tayo doon? Okay, don't be, ito? Don't be confused. Okay? So, number 4 is a rational algebraic expression. Number 5. 11 over 7x raised to 2 plus 5. Okay, so it's not rational algebraic expression because our exponent for the denominator is negative. Okay? Kapag ganun, it's not rational algebraic expression. Okay? Okay. Let's now have the last one. X squared minus 2x plus 1 all over x minus 1. Yes or no? Is it rational expression or not? So, okay, very good. It's yes. Okay, so sana you were able to identify correctly which expression is rational expression. Okay, so later on, when you answer your LAS, your learning activity sheet, you'll be able to do that correctly. Okay, so let's have now the continuation. Evaluating rational algebraic expressions. So like any expression, we can evaluate rational expressions. Okay, remember that in evaluating algebraic expressions, we are only replacing the variables with the given values and then simplify the resulting expression. So ganun din dito. Okay, given the expression, and then we will assign values for the unknown for the variable, and then we will solve, we will simplify. Okay, so let's have this one. Example number 1. Evaluate the expression 2x over x plus 3. So this is our given expression. Now, we will evaluate this using the assigned value for our x. For letter A, our x is equal to 2. That means we will replace all our x's, all our variable x, with positive 2. So let's do it. First, you copy the expression. We have 2x over x plus 3. Afterwards, you substitute x with positive 2. So, our numerator 2x will become 2 times 2 because our x is 2 over our denominator, x plus 3. Again, you change x with 2. So, the denominator will become now 2 plus 3. After substituting the value of x, the next step is you have to solve. You have to simplify. Okay? So let's have the numerator. 2 times 2 is 4. And denominator natin ay 2 plus 3. Ano ang 2 plus 3? Good. 2 plus 3 is 5. Therefore, if our x is 2, the value of our expression 2x over x plus 3 is 4 over 5. Since this can no longer be reduced to lowest term, eto na yung ating final answer. Understood? Great. The same expression, but this time, our x is negative 5. So, find the value of the expression 2x over x plus 3 when x is equal to negative 5. So, gagawin natin ngayon, copy the expression. Yan. And then, substitute x with negative 5 equals 2x, that is 2 times negative 5 over x plus 3. It will become negative 5 plus 3. Okay? And then, solve. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Okay? You have to remember the laws of signs, no? Yung mga rules for the sign. If you have different sign, when you are multiplying two integers with different sign, the product is always negative. So positive 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Okay? And then for the denominator, we have negative 5 plus 3. So again, addition of integers. if you have two integers with different signs, you have to subtract them. Okay? Kapag hindi sila pareho ng sign, subtract natin. So 5 minus 3, 2. And then copy the sign of the larger number, which is negative. So we have negative 2. Okay? But this is not yet the final answer. Why? Because we can still simplify negative 10 over negative 2. Okay? So negative is positive. And then 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the answer is positive 5. Okay? So if our x is negative 5, the value of our expression is positive 5. Okay? Understood? Okay, great. Next, let's have another expression. This time, it is 3x plus 1 all over x squared minus 4. Okay? Letter A, when x is equal to 0. So, our assigned value for x is 0. Copy the given and then change all the variables to 0. So we have now 3x, that is 3 times 0 plus 1, all over x squared, that is 0 squared minus 4. And then simplify. So 3 times 0 is 0. So wala na yun. Tanggalin na natin. Okay, and then obviously 0 squared is also 0. So yan. So we now have 1 over negative 4. Or we will just rewrite it to negative 1/4. Okay, so the answer, if your x is 0, the value of the expression is negative 1/4. Okay, clear? Good. Okay, last example for this expression. What if your variable x is 2? What will be the value of your expression? Okay, so again, copy the given, 3x plus 1 all over x squared minus 4. And then substitute all the variable x with 2. We now have 3 times 2 plus 1 all over 2 squared minus 4. And then solve. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 all over 2 squared. 2 squared is 2 times 2, 4 minus 4. And then simplify. 6 plus 1 is 7 over 4 minus 4 is 0. Well, what will be our answer? Your denominator is 0. Therefore, it is undefined. Okay? So, if your x is 2, our expression will become undefined. Okay? Good. Okay, let's now have domain and restricted values. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng domain? Ano ba yung mga restricted values? Okay? So, let us now define them. Domain is the set of all possible values of the variable that are allowed. And restricted values make a rational expression undefined. Okay? So let's have these examples. Find every value of the variable that makes each expression undefined. Ibig sabihin, hahanapin natin lahat ng value ng ating variable x na kung saan gagawin niyang 0 yung denominator natin. Okay? Gagawin niyang undefined. Ano yung mga values na hindi pwede? what are the restricted values. So let's now have example number 1. We have 3x squared over x plus 3. So given this expression, we will find now the restricted values for our given. Okay? So, paano natin gagawin yon? Let's have now the solution. First is to equate the denominator to 0. So, kukunin natin yung denominator and then we will equate it to 0. So, we will now have x plus 3 is equal to 0. Next is, we will add negative 3 on both sides. Why negative 3? Kasi dun sa ating obtained equation, x plus 3 is equal to 0, kailangan matira na lang sa left side ng ating equation ay yung variable natin, yung ating unknown. Okay? So, paano natin tatanggalin yung 3 doon sa left side? So, we have to add negative 3 on both sides para ma-cancel out or para mawala yung 3 dun sa left. So now we will add negative 3 and we will have this. So 3 plus negative 3, that is 0. So natanggal na yung 3 dun sa ating left side. Natira na lang yung x. And then 0 plus negative 3 is negative 3. That means, kapag ang x natin ay pinalitan natin ng negative 3, it will make our expression undefined. Okay? So, the restricted value here in our given expression is negative 3. Let's check. Let's change our x with negative 3. So, in our denominator, x plus 3, it will become negative 3 plus 3. So negative 3 plus 3 is equal to 0. And that will make our expression undefined. Okay? So now what's our domain for the given expression? The domain is x such that x is not equal to negative 3. Ibig sabihin, kahit anong value, kahit anong number ang ipalit natin sa x, pwede. Maliban lang sa negative 3. Okay? Understood? Very good. We have 7 over quantity x plus 4 times the quantity x minus 1. So, yung kanina yung number 1 natin, our denominator is a binomial. Okay? Dito naman, ang ating denominator ay dalawang binomials. Okay? So, we will just follow the same process. Okay? So, first, we have to equate the denominator to 0. So, dalawa yan, di ba? So, we have x plus 4, quantity x minus 1 equals 0. Okay? After that, we will equate both factors to 0. Ibig sabihin, paghihiwalayin natin yung dalawang factors, yung dalawang binomial. And then, equate natin sa 0. So, magkakaroon tayo ng x plus 4 is equal to 0 and x minus 1 is equal to 0. Pinaghiwalay lang. Okay? Next step is you solve for x. So, dito sa right side, x plus 4 equals 0. Kailangan mawala yung 4 sa left. So, ililipat mo siya sa right. Transposition ang tawag doon para shortcut na lang. Kapag tayo ay nagtatranspose, we are changing the sign. So, ang negative 4 ay magiging, ang positive 4 ay magiging negative 4. Okay? Kapag lumilipat tayo ng bakod, naglilipat tayo ng side ng equation, we are transposing, we are changing the sign of the integer. Okay? So on the other side, negative x minus 1 equals 0, transpose negative 1, it will become positive 1. And there we have now the restricted values. Okay, so we have two restricted values for number 2. What are they? Negative 4 and positive 1. Ibig sabihin, kapag yung x mo daw ay pinalitan mo ng negative 4, magiging 0, magiging undefined yung expression natin. O kaya naman, kapag yung x mo ay pinalitan mo ng 1, ganun din. It will become undefined. Okay, our expression will become undefined. So, the domain now is x such that x is not equal to negative 4 and positive 1. Okay? Good. Okay, number 3. 9m over m minus n. Okay? So, step 1, equate the denominator to 0. We have m minus n equals 0. Okay? Tapos, tatanggalin yung n sa left side. Ililipat sa right side. Paano yun? We will add n on both sides para mawala yung negative n. So, m is equal to n. That's it. Ibig sabihin, the expression is undefined if the variables m and n are replaced by equal values. Okay? Kapag daw yung m mo at saka yung n mo ay parehong value, parehong number, magiging 0 yung denominator. Di ba? Halimbawa, parehong 5. So, 5 minus 5, 0. Okay? So, if your denominator is 0, then the expression is undefined. So, the domain is m such that m is not equal to n. Okay? A question? I hope wala. Nakuha lahat. No? Okay. Okay, let's now move on to the last part of our discussion. And this is simplifying rational algebraic expressions. Okay, when we are simplifying rational expressions, first, you have to factor completely the numerator and denominator. Okay? So, dito, i-apply natin yung pinag-aralan natin sa factoring polynomials. So, kailangan hindi kayo malilito dito. Okay? So, you have to distinguish the factoring technique that you're going to use. Okay? Second, after factoring out completely the numerator and denominator, we will cancel out any common factors. Okay, so cancellation ang step 2. And lastly, simplify the remaining fraction. Okay, let's have examples for you to further understand this concept. Simplify each rational expression. Number 1, 25xyz over 15xz. In order for us to simplify this given rational expression, we need to get first the factors of the numerator and the denominator. So what are the factors of 25xyz? Very good. We have 5 times 5 times x times y times z over the factors of the denominator. What are they? Okay, good. We have 5 times 3 times x times z. Okay, so after doing this, after getting the factors, we will now have cancellation. Tignan mo kung ano yung mga pare-pareho nilang factors. And then we will cancel. Okay, so what can we cancel? Ano yung mga pareho nila? Okay, very good. 5x and z. So we cancel out 5x, z because that is their common factor. Okay? So ngayon, aling natira? We have 5y over 3. And since we can no longer simplify this, that's already the final answer. So we have 5y over 3. Okay? Understood? Very good. Number 2. X squared plus 2x all over 2x plus 4. So, in number 2, we have binomial. Okay? Binomial over binomial. So, in this given, we will apply factoring polynomials. So, again, the first step is factor the numerator and the denominator. So how can we factor the numerator? X squared plus 2x. What factoring technique are we going to apply? Okay, very good. We can factor the CMF, common monomial factor, because they have common factor. Okay, and what is that? Okay, very good. Their common factor is x. So, ilalabas natin si x. Okay? Pagkatapos natin ilabas si x, magdi-divide tayo. I-divide mo yung numerator dun sa x. Okay? So, we will have now x. Quantity x plus 2. Okay? Kasi x squared divided by x, that is x. And then, plus 2x divided by x, that's 2. Okay? So we now have this for the numerator. Next, denominator. How can you get the factors of the denominator? 2x plus 4. Okay, very good. Pareho lang din. We will apply factoring CMF. Ano ba yung common factor nila? Okay, that is 2. So, pag nilabas mo yung 2, we have 2 quantity x plus 2. Okay? So, second step, cancel out common factors. Do you see any common factor? Yes. And what are they? Okay, very good. We have x plus 2. So, we will cancel out x plus 2, x plus 2. At anong natitirang sagot? What's the answer now? Okay, very good. X over 2. Okay? So, that is example number 2. Okay, let's have now number 3. X squared minus 25 over x plus 5. So again, we get the factors of the numerator and the denominator. Do you see any pattern in our numerator? What factoring technique are we going to apply? Okay, very good. Our numerator is difference of 2 squares. So, if that's the case, the factors of our numerator are x plus 5, x minus 5. Diba? Get the square root of the first term, x squared, x. Square root of the second term, 25, that is 5. So we have x plus 5, x minus 5. That is difference of two squares. All over x plus 5. Can we still factor x plus 5? Okay, hindi na. So, kokopihin na lang. We will just copy. Kokopihin na lang natin. Okay? So, we have x plus 5. Okay, after doing this, after getting the factors, we will now do the cancellation. Okay? Lahat ng parehong factors, kakancel natin. So, ano yung pareho nila? Remember, naka-group yan. Meron tayong parenthesis. Okay? So, ano yung pwede natin i-cancel dyan? Okay, very good. We can cancel x plus 5 and x plus 5. Kasi pareho sila. Okay? And the answer now is x minus 5. Ganun lang siya. Okay? Okay. Understood? Okay, very good. Example number 4. X squared minus 6x plus 5 all over x squared minus 10x plus 25. Okay, so these two are trinomials. Okay, our numerator is trinomial and our denominator is also a trinomial. At dalawa lang yan. Pwedeng factoring perfect square trinomials or factoring general trinomials. Okay, so kailangan alam niyo yung mga factoring techniques na napag-aralan dati. Okay, yung mga na-discuss natin dati. Okay, so paano mo kukunin yung mga factors nung numerator natin? We have x squared minus 6x plus 5. Okay, we can do that by factoring general quadratic trinomial. Okay? So, paano gagawin yun? So, kukunin mo yung factors nung constant natin, yung c, 5. Ano yung mga factors ng 5? Pag pinag-add mo ay negative 6. What are the factors of positive 5? When you add them up, the sum is negative 6. Okay, so we have negative 5 and negative 1. Very good. Because negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. And then negative 5 plus negative 1 is negative 6. Okay, proceed. Over. Okay, denominator. We can do that. We can get the factors by factoring perfect square trinomials. Okay? Bakit siya perfect square trinomial? Very good. Because the first term is a perfect square. The last term is also a perfect square. And the middle term is twice the product of the square root of the first and last terms. Okay, so when you get the factors of our denominator, it will be quantity x minus 5, quantity x minus 5. Pareho lang sila. Okay, so now let's do cancellation. What can we cancel? Okay, we can cancel x minus 5 and x minus 5. Isa lang. No? Pati yung isa sa denominator tatanggalin natin, hindi. Okay? We are getting zero pair, kumbaga. Okay? So, tatanggalin mo yung isang x minus 5 and isa pang x minus 5. Meron pa ba? Okay, no more. So, what's now the answer? The answer is, okay, x minus 1 all over x minus 5. Okay? Understood? Very good. So now it's time for you to try. Okay? Learning activity sheets. Okay? You will answer activity 1. This is for the LC1. You have 2 modules for the week, for the third week. Okay? So for the first module in week 3, you answer activity 1 and then activity 2, 1, 2, 3 items only. Okay? So again, activity 2, you just answer items number 1 to 3. And then for activity number 3, just answer 1 and 2. Okay? Next, for the second day, you answer practice A, practice B, and practice C. Okay? Pero yung sa practice B, sagutan nyo lang yung 1, 2, 3. And then yung practice C naman, 1 and 2. Okay? So, a reminder, strictly follow the schedule in accomplishing your Math 8 LES. And if you have further questions, you can send me a message via text or through FB Messenger. Okay, so that's our lesson for today, and I'll see you next week. Good day, class. Have a nice day. Thank you.